Now, how are you going to look at this situation? How is Pakistan going to view this situation? General Qureshi, are you taking this threat of retaliation from the Iranians lightly? Are you shrugging it off completely as of now? How is Pakistan looking at this?
I don't think anyone in Pakistan thinks that Iran would retaliate against Pakistan. I think as the investigation continues and they come to logical conclusions, I think they'll understand that the people that Pakistan is fighting are the same people that perhaps are trying to spread whatever their extreme views in perhaps neighboring countries.
Are you totally discounting, therefore, General Qureshi, the possibility of Pakistan being a pawn, and the word I'm using, Pakistan being a pawn, much like the earlier US support for Mujahideen against Soviet Union with the collaboration of Pakistan, that in this also you are a pawn. The fight is between America and Iran, and that your ISI, your forces, your intelligence is a pawn in all of this.
No, I don't think so.
That's precisely the charge against you here.
I think what has happened is one of the rationally evident things that one could think of is that since the Tehreek-e-Taliban and the Al-Qaeda, which is under very, very intense action by the Pakistani armed forces inside the tribal areas, there could be, now I'm just conjecturing frankly, so I don't really know, there could have been a message sent out to whatever sleeper cells they have, one, to immediately start bomb blasts and attacking Pakistani cities, and maybe even if, first of all, we don't have conclusive evidence, when I say Pakistan, that people from here were involved in launching this attack upon Iran. However, let's go to that extreme side where we say, okay, there's some evidence available with Iran or with Pakistan ultimately when they share it, that such a thing did happen. Now, a diversionary incident like this would perhaps help these extremists and terrorists.
No, but this whole argument, General Qureshi, that everyone wants to give us a bad name, and we are the good guys, everyone wants to paint us black, does not work. The question I asked you was in the specific context of American support for Jandullah, which is the group that carried out the attack in Iran. And you know that America has had a dual policy, Maroof. We've not forgotten the US involvement in Nicaragua through the Contras. And this is exactly what could be happening vis-a-vis Iran. And Pakistan gets sort of stuck in the American game here. Maroof?
Arnab, there is another element to it. For the last 15 years, from time to time, Pakistan has faced violence against Shia elements within Pakistani society. The hardliners in Pakistani society do not acknowledge a role for Shias, whether in Pakistani society or as Iran's emerging role as a counter to a Saudi-sponsored Shiite Wahhabi system, which many elements in Pakistan were falling trapped to. So there could be also, outside of the military, a certain element which would like to contest the Iranian way of life. And to that extent, the shelter that Pakistan's intelligence agencies provide, and that's my question to General Qureshi, that what is being done, General? We are seeing, yes, military operations in South Waziristan, which I think will be a defining moment for Pakistan's future course if you have success or you have a stalemate. But what is being done to rein in your intelligence agencies, which continue to be a law onto themselves, and which are really the source of embarrassment, assuming people like you, moderates, are there in Pakistani society?
Yeah, because eventually, General Qureshi, it's not a certificate from America which is going to help you. You've got to see concrete action. There's no point making America happy by taking on the Taliban if you're going to continue these attacks from your soil against Iran, against Afghanistan, and against India. The pressure is going to build eventually on Islamabad. It is going to eventually lead in...
Nobody's trying to please the United States or America. What we need to do is something that we need to do for our country.
No.
What we are facing today I don't think any other country has faced such sort of violence within their own country. Therefore, we have to be very convinced.
But General Qureshi, you are in the region. You're in the region. You fight America's battles. You're in the region. Eventually, you're going to have to deal with an angry Afghanistan, an angry Iran, and an extremely angry India. You're in the region. America is not going to take the flak from Ahmadinejad. Pakistan will. Dr. Awwad, what do you think? How is this going to factor out?
No.
I think in the long term, Pakistan will pay, definitely. I'm afraid they will pay for this policy regarding the pleasement of American, because the Pakistani society really have paid the price for such kind of a policy, which I agree with Qureshi. I mean, a general like him, and he was a very frank, and he knows very well the situation. I'm sure he can understand the topic and the emergency, the necessity of the Pakistani people speaking out. It's nothing to do with the establishment. It's nothing to do with the intelligence and the counterintelligence and their relation with the United States, with the MI5, with the Saudis, with anybody in the region. But Pakistanis are paying a price for a wrongdoing of the wrong policy. As Indian officials says that you can choose your friend, but you cannot choose your neighbor. Pakistan might have made already the decision of going ahead and attacking those elements which were supported by the establishment. Why are we denying?
General Qureshi, quickly.
Can't these elements within the Pakistani extremist organization really have counter the policy of the Pakistani government, that they are really going to sabotage what the Pakistan government trying, whether they want the pipeline to come from Iran, they could cause it. There was a reconciliation meeting with the Sunni and the Shia, including the Revolutionary Guard, in this bomb blast, which they paid the price. There is a closer tie with Iran and Turkey in the regional powers within the Middle East, West Asia's issues. There is also another element to the issues. So I think there are some truth behind what's going on in Pakistan.
Absolutely.
And what's going on the ground. The reality on the ground is that Pakistan is losing its sovereignty over its national interest. That is the whole issue here is all about.
General Qureshi, when the mess is over, how is Pakistan going to clean it up? When this fight is over, how will Pakistan clean the mess?
No, what I'm trying to say is this Jandullah, this organization, was also responsible for one of the attacks on President Musharraf. Now, in the course of our discussion, I heard someone say that during Musharraf's time, they were given cover. No. I think President Musharraf was the first leader in Pakistan who actually came out openly long before 9/11, by the way.
General Qureshi, I mentioned that ABC report. You're wrong, General Qureshi, because I mentioned that ABC report in 2005. You were in government, Musharraf was in government. It was in 2005, according to that ABC report, that the US started funding the Jandullah. And the whole idea was to provide no direct funding to this group, which would require congressional oversight and get media attention, and hence the entire support was routed through Pakistan. You were in power in 2000.
This is correct. You see, if ABC has said it or BBC has said it, that doesn't make it correct.
But this has never been retracted. Despite all the pressure from the American government, this report by Brian Ross and Christopher Isham was never retracted. This is fact.
No,
it was only denied by Pakistani officials.
If ABC doesn't retract a report, Pakistan is not responsible.
Okay.
And what we are saying, we are talking about the Pakistani president being targeted by this same group that you're saying that the Americans are trying to fund. Were the Americans trying to kill Musharraf? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't suggest that. I only presented the facts that I have before you.
Can I ask a question?
Very briefly, sir, I'm running out of time. Sure. Very briefly, Dr. Awwad.
Yeah, I mean, just if the Iranians give enough evidence to the Pakistanis that these groups are involved, the soldiers of God or the Jundullah, will the Pakistani hand over these elements to the
General Qureshi,
Iranians?
respond to that.
Because they have been asking since the last bomb blast in Zahdan, which was happened in June last.
Is the answer a yes?
Frankly, I'm not in government. I do not know how to answer that question. But I'm 100% sure that if evidence is given, Pakistan will take action. And the world, Iran, and everyone else will see it.
Okay. Well, General Qureshi, I'll have to thank you there for joining us on the News Hour tonight. Maroof and Dr. Awwad, thanks very much. The tension is building in the region. We don't know how fast this is going to either blow up or peter off. We'll follow the story.